in the book of Genesis, in the 4th chapter, I think it is, or the 8th, 9th, and 10th verses, a very familiar story of Cain and Abel. And it says, "Now Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and killed him. Then the Lord said to Cain, 'Where is Abel your brother?' He said, 'I don't know. Am I my brother's keeper?' And he said, 'What have you done? The voice of your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground.'" So I thought I'd talk to you just a little bit today on a time to think about brotherhood, or am I my brother's keeper? Now, the reason I wanted to talk about that this weekend is because this season between Thanksgiving and Christmas is a time that we are reminded of the extremes. We are reminded of how great things are for some of us, and at the same time we are reminded of how tough things are for some of us. And we are reminded of the great, what I call or think is the greatest social problem in the world, and it always has been. And that is the natural. This is not something that's imposed upon people by others. This is the natural inequality of human beings. People are not born equal. They may have equal love from God, but people are not born equal. They are born unequal, and it's not a Republican thing or a Democratic thing or an American thing. It is the natural thing that people are not born equal. Some of us are born healthier, smarter, and better circumstances than others. That's the way it is. So if people are born unequal, the only hope that the earth has for unity and peace is a sense of brotherhood. That those who have more must take some responsibility for those who have less. So it is incumbent upon preachers and people who want a world of peace and harmony to focus sometimes on that great problem and the great solution that God has given us for that problem, and that is the solution of our relationship one with the other. So in this story, we have a very familiar story, Cain and Abel. Cain has killed his brother, and God approaches Cain and asks the question, "Where is your brother?" And Cain, I thought about this this morning, actually sarcastically maybe said, why are you asking me, am I my brother's keeper? And then God says, I've heard the voice of your brother's blood crying out to me from the ground. So God does not answer Cain's question. He simply responds. So I think that the question that Cain asked God is a question that every person needs to answer. Am I my brother's keeper? And your answer to that question will determine how you respond to this great inequality of the human condition. It will determine how you respond to the cries that you hear. Now notice, God said to Cain, your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground. God could say to you, your children's voices cry out to me from the ghetto. Cry out to me from the homeless shelters. Cry out to me from the prison cells. God could say to you, the voices of young mothers cry out to me from the terrible mess that they have made for themselves and their children.